I was marketing real estate for 7 good months. I didn't make a sale. Yeah. It was on the 8th month that I made my first sale. And my first commission was 90,000 naira. I was in Port Harcourt. I didn't have to go to Lagos. I was just in Port Harcourt. Till tomorrow, I don't even know where that property is. Throughout my years of being a realtor, all the deals I closed in Lagos and in Abuja, I didn't visit the property not once. I was feeling like a maverick, living in Port Harcourt, selling properties in Lagos and in Abuja without seeing the properties. Sometimes I would just be in my room and I would just control the clients. Like I would be in my room, I will control them. They will go to the site in Lagos without seeing me, and they will buy the property. I will be in Port Harcourt. I will receive my commission. I'll be like, "Kai, which kind of thing? You see the suite like this?" Part of the commission I earned throughout 2019, I was just investing it into some of all these Forex Ponzi schemes. Okay, they'll say they are trading for you and all of that. They'll be giving you return on investment. So all my money went down the drain in 2019. So it was more like 2020, I had to start afresh. Starting a real estate company is capital intensive. It's not cheap. I have never seen someone who believes in himself more than I do. Running a business, you need to know how to be in control of your energy, because we experience failure every now and then. You can kickstart a project and you expect that, okay, the project would fly in the market based on all your strategies that you've put in place, and probably the market did not respond just the way you wanted it to respond to the product. And the fact that something, a product or a project has failed does not mean the vision has failed. It doesn't mean the dream has failed. You know, what it only means is that the strategy failed, the plan has failed. We can do something else.
Hello there, once again, welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurs Connect show. As always, what we do here is speak with African entrepreneurs, people who are building real businesses in Africa, to learn about their journey, their success, their failure, things they've learned, doing business and building in Africa. And today again, we have another special guest on the pod, CEO Velox. No, you became a holding company recently now. So what's the new name now? It's called Velox Holdings. Beautiful. So CEO Velox Holdings, the one and only Mr. Akorvueze Nwakanma. Did I get your name right?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, cool. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm good.
Good to have you here.
Pleasure.
Good to have you here. Do you have any expectations for the show today? I mean, maybe we just fire down.
Let's get going.
Beautiful. So basically, what we want to do in the next few minutes is to learn from you and drink from your well of knowledge, basically, to learn how you have built your business and how you've been able to thrive as an entrepreneur, basically. Yeah. So my first question to you would be, what was life like growing up for you, first off?
Growing up for me, life was, I would say it was a bittersweet experience. It was a mixture of lemon and lemonade. Growing up in some sort of a middle class family with your parents as civil servants. My dad was a teacher and my mom a health worker in a primary healthcare facility. So then grew up with 6 siblings. We're just 3 boys, 4 girls, had lots of extended families with us, living together. And I had my formative years in the military barrack. So
I thought you soldier.
No, my dad wasn't a soldier, but he was a teacher in a military school.
Oh.
Yeah, so that gave me the opportunity to grow up in the military barracks. I had my nursery and primary education in a military school. So that gave me some level of mental toughness.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Rivers State.
Oh, yeah. So the barracks was...
No, we have 2 military barracks in Rivers State. We have one in Bori Camp and we have one in Elele. So I grew up in Elele barracks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So, what do you study in school?
Okay, my background is biomedical technology. We're among those set of people that you say, they say, Jam, give me this one. Usually in Nigeria, in those days, when you say you want to read engineering or you want to read medicine, it is not up to you to decide at that point in time. It's not up to you to decide at that point in time. You just have to write the exam. After you're done, when the admission list is out, whatever they give to you, you will go for it.
What I study? Oh, they give me...
Exactly. So that was the case. But for me, basically, I had always wanted to be a medical doctor. That has always been my dream, to be a medical doctor. So, but after jammed me, and I was given admission in Uniport to read biomedical technology, and I actually didn't want to spend even one more year at home. You know, ordinarily, my parents asked me to, you can still wait. Next year, you write again. You can get the medicine and go for it all at once. And I was like, okay, no, that's not going to happen. Let me just go and do this one. Maybe I can, when I'm done with my first degree, I can still go back and do medicine. But I think I've always been the book guy. I always like book. So I was like, hey, it's not big deal. When I finish, I can still do another one, you know. So that was just the case for me, and that was how I found myself reading biomedical technology in Uniport. And after a while, after like 2 years into studying biomedical technology, I lost interest in the course. I lost interest in it, and then sometime in I should be around 2013. Sometime in 2013, I started making efforts to travel abroad to study medicine, because I was supposed to graduate in 2014, but I ended up graduating in 2015 because of the ASU strike. I kept us at home for like 9 months, you know. So I was making efforts to study abroad. Then I gained admission to study in Cyprus, medicine and surgery, you know, but life happened and I wasn't able to go again. And so because I lost interest in biomedical technology, and after I went for my service year in Kaduna State, I came back. I was trying to get a job and the job was not forthcoming. At that point in time, I just told myself that, you see, what actually happened was, after my parents couldn't fund my education to travel to Cyprus to study medicine and all of that, I just told myself that this whole book thing, like, go drop, I need to make money. You know, so after my service year, I went back to my parents' house. So I'm getting to the family house. My dad was like, you need to get a job. You need to go for your master's. Even if you still get a job in a secondary school to start teaching, you can start from there and then you go back for your master's degree and all of that. That was when I rebelled my dad. I told him, I said, if it's for getting a job and you want me to get a job in a private school to become a teacher, just wait, you're a teacher. So I told him, that's not going to work. Because for me, I've always liked big things, right from my early stage in life. I've always liked big things. So it has always been the issue I had with my parents growing up, because other things that they will do for my other siblings, and my other siblings will see it as, it's good. For me, it's not good though. Yeah, so, you know, the kind of food my siblings would eat and they'll be happy, I would reject it. I would say I won't eat. You know, so I was just that kind of guy. So my mom used to have that feeling that, maybe this boy no go do money ritual one day. You know, because I liked money a lot growing up. I liked money a lot. So then I was that kid in school who, in secondary school, then we would do assignment for people. They would pay us. So I used to make small money from just writing assignment for people, or solving, helping them solve physics, chemistry, and all of that. So it was just, we're just going like that. But basically after that's my service year, and then I just met a friend who told me, I met, we were friends in school in Uniport back then, and then there was an event that happened in Port Harcourt somewhere. I think should be UST. Yeah, so I attended that event. I met him again, and then he graduated ahead of me. So I was like, guy, what did they do now? He was like, he's into real estate now, which can be the agent. So he was like, no, that's the world has changed, that you can just stay in the comfort of your home and you'll be advertising properties and people will buy from you. I was like, I better leave that talk. So I just shoved him off, and then I think a few weeks later, I was giving it a thought. I was like, I will just feature this at my house, or just the post this thing. People feel bad. Yeah. So I said, okay, I've had that thing they run, and he just told me about it. I registered with the company that he was selling for at the time, and that was how I ventured into real estate. Oh, yeah. So I didn't have any practical. But generally, I used to call myself an accidental entrepreneur, you know. But the reason I got this good in business is just that my first principle in life is whatever that is worth doing is worth doing well. Okay. So when I decided to do business and do real estate, so I just told myself that if I have to do it, then I have to do it well.
Is your real estate business, is that the first business you ever tried?
Ever. Exactly.
Wow. So all those school hustle,
for me, there are people, yes, there are entrepreneurs who will say, oh, I was selling fish, I was selling kerosene when I was growing up. I didn't do any of those things. If anything that I sold as a young boy was basically what my parents asked me, go and sell. You understand? So then growing up, my other brother used to sell kerosene, so I was not the best. It's just that people would come and, when I get kerosene, and I was basically, my mom had a shop. I would just go to her shop and sit down and just manage the shop for her. So I was not really be a business inclined person. I wasn't interested in business. I just wanted to be a medical doctor, a professor. That had always been my dream, to be a medical doctor, become a professor, just read book. I just love that feeling, But it happened, and I found myself in business, and then I just told myself that, man, you have to get it right.
Oh.
Because for me, I just feel that whatever I am doing, I have to be the best at it. Yeah, because when I was in school, I was among the best students in my class. So I was like, if I want to do business too, I have to also be among the best doing it. If I won't be among the top guys doing it, there's no point doing it. So that was how I ventured into real estate, and then I started writing. So basically what gave me a better path in real estate was because I'm a very good writer. So I just started writing fiction stories, using fiction stories to market real estate. Yeah. So that was how.
Interesting. I'm interested in knowing. So you registered with this company, as a realtor, as they call it now in these days.
Yeah.
Right. What was the experience like? First few weeks,
for me, I was just catching funny. Yeah, I didn't see it as anything serious. Sincerely, I didn't see it as anything serious. I was just catching fun, just doing my thing. I would just wake up, I would just post flyers every day on Facebook. So I was just catching fun.
What year was this?
That was 2017. 2017. So I was practically just catching fun. Not until I now started seeing some guys in Lagos who were just so that's real estate marketing company at the time, a billionaire realtors group. So sometimes they would just post, usually by the end of every month or weekly, then so they would just post people who have closed sales. You would just see, oh, this person has sold 10 plots of this, 15 plots of this, and then I would just calculate the commission that these guys were getting paid at the time. You say, young boy like this, they don't pay 1.5 million. They don't pay 2 million.
Since 2017.
2017, somebody they pay 1.5 million. If you buy motor one,
that's.
And I was like, what's happening? So these guys, they are just like this, and they are just making this kind of commission. So that was how I was like, okay, I can also do this. So I just took it more seriously. So that was when I now started writing some content about real estate, posting them on social media, and all of that. And I was marketing real estate for 7 good months. I didn't make a sale. Yeah, it was on the 8th month that I made my first sale. And my first commission was 90,000 naira. Yeah, I sold a property of 600,000, and they paid me 15%. That was 90,000. So that was my first commission, So, but when they paid me 90,000, and I was like, if you pay me 90,000, pay me 9 million first. So that was how I just picked it up from there, and I started pushing it further.
Those first 7 months when you're waking up, writing stories, posting and all of that, and you did not see a sale.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
It was hell, actually. It was hell. Then there were real estate events in Port Harcourt. Then I was still in LA with my parents. There are some real estate events that will happen in Port Harcourt, some entrepreneurship event that will happen in Port Harcourt. I wouldn't even have transport to come to Port Harcourt. And I would just tell my mom, I say, Mommy, give me some money, then I go Port Harcourt. I get where I want to go now. She was not like, all this money where they collect from me, when you go pay me back, I'll just say, Mommy, they write them down. No worry, I go become millionaire. When I become millionaire, I will pay you all your money. So I was just collecting money from her. Sometimes if I want to buy data to go online, I won't have money to buy data. I will just say, Mommy, give me 2,000, then I'll buy data back. I'll give you back. So when you ever give me back, So I kept telling her once, I'll just tell her, no worry. Once I make money now, you go to enjoy all this. You don't remember this money they give me now. So basically, she was just helping me go through that phase. But it was hell. Actually, it was. When you wake up every morning you see people in the same WhatsApp group with you closing deals in millions.
And it doesn't have two heads.
Exactly. And you just see them closing deals. And so at that time too, I was also seeing real estate as a side hustle. So I was just seeing it as, let me just be doing until when I get a job. I think it was when I finally changed my mind about getting a paid employment was November 2017, after I wrote the EFCC entrance examination. After that entrance examination, we didn't even hear anything from them again. All the people that wrote the exams, I had their phone numbers. You will call them, Afa, you don't hear anything. They'll be like, no, I've not heard. Days were going, months went by, we didn't hear anything from them. And that was how I just said, if this one no work, nothing concern me, I'll just do business. So, but when I made my first sale in real estate, that was January 2018. So January 2018, I earned my first commission in real estate. That was just 90,000. So when I made that money and I just started, I was like, okay, if this thing can pay me this sum, that means it can pay me even much more. So mind you, I closed that transaction. The property was in Lagos. I was in Port Harcourt. I didn't have to go to Lagos. I was just in Port Harcourt. Till tomorrow, I don't even know where that property is. I don't even know. I never visited Lagos. All the deals, throughout my years of being a realtor, all the deals I closed in Lagos and in Abuja, I didn't visit the property, not once. So that was how I made my first sale. But that 7 months it was hell. It was hell, So my dad, who had lots of expectations from me and just seeing me stay at home every day, after he had told me to go and get a job, and I told him that I won't be a teacher. So, and then sometime in August 2017, he gave me money to go for my master's program. I refused. I carried the money and I was using it to buy data. I collected the money from him. I didn't go for my master's program. I was just buying data, posting online, just showing up every day, writing real estate content here and there, basically. So that was just my dad was really furious with me. So from time to time, he would just be giving me what we call basketballs at home. He would just be talking, and I'll be like, so sometimes, how parents behave now. He would just tell my mom, see, this is your son. He has not said what he wants to become. Better talk to him. So my mom will come to my room and she'll tell me, see what you're making your dad say, this, that. And I'll just tell her, mom, relax, time still day. I'll just say, relax, time day. You see, so my dad got tired of me because he used to say that I have too much pride. So sometimes we will just be talking, I will just tell him, see, I go make a move. So he will not say, you will make a sit down inside house like this. I'll say, see, at the inside I did plot my graph. I'm advertising. One day I will just hit my big deal, So I was just doing my thing gradually like that. But that 7 months was really, really tough for me. But my mom helped me through that phase. She was always giving me money to buy data. Then every month when she receives her salary, she would just give me small money, sometimes 5K, 10K. She say, oh, this one, they do that in way they do, they try. So I was just pushing gradually. I think that was how I made my first sale, January. And it didn't even take long. I think after I made my first sale in January, February, I made another sale. March, I made another sale. So it was just happening like that. So I just started selling. So it just became like a lifestyle for me.
I heard that commission is really sweet. So it's...
I used to have a staff at Velox who, when he came for an interview, he came for a marketing role. So when he came for an interview, one of the things that he said was very funny. He said, so I asked him, can you work for commission instead of salary? What he said to me made me employ him immediately. He told me that a commission is what gives a man an erection. And we all started laughing. So actually, that's the kind of feeling that's commission gives to you, especially for me, it gave me very good feeling. Like I was feeling like a maverick, living in Port Harcourt, selling properties in Lagos and in Abuja without seeing the properties. Sometimes I would just be in my room and I would just control the clients. Like I would be in my room, I would control them. They would go to the site in Lagos. I would receive my commission. I'll be like, Kai, which kind of thing? You see the suite like this? I would just do the talk for phone with people, So sometimes you just say this thing self marry, like how? So I was getting that. So at some point I was not feeling like a don. So I would just sit there, so just run adverts now. People will start calling you. Once they start calling you. So I used to have a sales book. Yeah, I used to have my sales book. So once I download my leads, I'll write their names down. So once I write their names down, I'll write feedbacks. So as I'm talking to you on the phone, once we are done talking, I'll write the feedback. If you tell me, okay, call me back so that I've been waiting for a special, so I don't forget. Because then I used to run a lot of adverts, I had a lot of leads, so I don't forget. So whenever I want to do follow-up, I'll just open my Facebook. I'll now check in their feedbacks. I know the people that I have to call back and all of that. So basically.
So when was now the transition from, being just a realtor to now starting your own company?
Well, for me, as far back as 2018, I had always wanted to own a real estate company. After I started earning that commission, right? And then what motivated me was that I now started seeing lots of very smart young CEOs in Lagos running real estate companies. At that time, their companies were quite young. Then some were just running for 2 years, some 3 years, And I was like, if these guys would actually do this thing, me too, I can do it too. And so I looked deep into their background. They also didn't have any first degree in real estate or management whatsoever. So they also had first degree in abstract disciplines, some chemistry and all that. If these guys can do this thing, me too, I can do this thing. So as far back as 2018, I had always settled in my heart that I would own a real estate company. So I even started saving towards it. Yeah, I started saving towards it, and that was what made me to put my money into the likes of MBA Forex and all of that. Because I was like, okay, all this my commission now, as they are coming, let me start putting them in MBA Forex. The money will multiply faster. I can just open my company from them, But all the money went away, So basically, that was how from 2018. I already made up my mind that I was going to own a real estate company. 2019, I attempted to go for it. It didn't work. 2019, I attempted to go for it. It didn't work. But since 2018, I've been wanting to own a real estate company, which was why I think sometime in 2019, then an upcoming real estate company in Port Harcourt, I wouldn't want to mention names though. So an upcoming real estate company in Port Harcourt, they met the CEO of the company, called me for a meeting. I was like, I would want you to be the manager of this company. You are very good in real estate and all of that. So then I used to train people a lot in real estate. Then that company at that time, I was the person who trained their at the very first set of realtors at that time. Yeah, that was December 2018. So I trained their very first set of realtors at the time. So 2019, CEO was like, I would like you to come work with us, come be our general manager, come and run this company. You have the knowledge, you can. So because I've always had in mind that I want to do my own thing, and the brand of real estate, the way I want to do real estate, it's not the way I saw their own vision. So I didn't want a clash of interest. And because and I clearly told him, and I was like, if I'm to come here to run your business for you, I would basically be building this business just where I want to build my own dream. And it will be quite different from yours. So I wouldn't want us to have issues. There's no point. So 2019, that was, I think we had that meeting sometime around, was it January or February 2019? So towards 2019, in between that, I made efforts to open my own. It didn't work out.
Why didn't it work?
It didn't work because starting a real estate company is capital intensive. It's not cheap. Yeah. Then it was even cheaper, but now it's very, very expensive. Now it's quite an expensive venture. Then it was even cheaper. So I felt then 2019, part of why it didn't work was also because part of the commission I earned throughout 2019, I was just investing it into some of all these Forex Ponzi schemes. Okay, they'll say they are trading for you and all of that. They'll be giving you return on investment. So all my money went down the drain in 2019. So it was more like 2020, I had to start afresh. Then COVID came.
Yeah,
exactly. So, but so 2019 I had to start afresh. Then 2020 COVID came, So, but then 2021 the dream was better.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. So you're still actively selling lands and training. Yeah. So the training was like now a second stream of income. It's used to go and train.
Not necessarily. It wasn't really a second. Like I just loved training people about real estate. I wasn't even charging money. I wasn't charging money. I wasn't even nothing. I wasn't even charging anybody anytime. It's just that if you tell me that I want to do real estate, I'll just tell you, see how it's going to work. and all of that. So I wasn't even charging. The training was not even a second stream of income or whatever. I wasn't charging any fee for that. I just loved that. Well, you say you want to do real estate, I will show you now. Basically, so that was basically what I was doing. Then it's just that maybe some persons they would say I should train them, and after training they would just give me small things. So I wasn't even seeing it as anything serious. I was just focused on selling my properties and making my commission, because then companies at that time were paying 15%. I even sold for a company who paid me 20%. The first million I made in real estate, so that company paid me 20%. So I made a lot of money from them. That was 2018. So basically that was what happened. And then 2020 COVID came, lots of challenges. In between all of that, I even thought of relocating to Lagos. Oh yeah, in 2020. So I thought of relocating to Lagos. I even thought of, okay, are you sure this thing is getting too difficult? Are you sure I will not just relocate to Lagos and just take this thing serious from Lagos, and all of that. I thought of going to Lagos. At some point in time, I was planning, I said, okay, after this whole COVID year, let this 2020 just end. That's by January 2021, that's I would relocate to Lagos. But I didn't know that other plans were in the pipeline, So towards the end of 2020, I just made some money at that point in time, and then I was like, man, this is the time.
How do you deal with failure? I mean, you tried to launch a company before,
yeah,
and then it did not for obvious reasons, right? In that moment, it's like you are trying something, and then you're putting in the effort. I be like, say, this is not the work, and all that. How do you deal with failure in such a way that it does not affect how you go out to act next time?
I think for me, I have never seen someone who believes in himself more than I do. Never seen. I call it my coping mechanism, actually. So I'm a very pragmatic person. I know how to adapt to any kind of situation. So whether it is sweet today, it is bitter tomorrow, I just know how to adapt, and I know how to maintain my energy, even in the midst of failure. So when things are not going right, I know how to maintain that energy and keep the tempo high. So even running a business, you need to know how to be in control of your energy, because of course, even running Velos, we experience failure every now and then. You can kickstart a project and you expect that, okay, the project would fly in the market based on all your strategies that you've put in place, and probably the market did not respond just the way you wanted it to respond to the product, and maybe you have also given your team the confidence that this product, this strategy is going to work, and then it doesn't work. So for me, I just know how to maintain my energy at that point in time, because I know that anything that affects my energy would automatically affect the team. So I just know how to maintain my energy, and I'm a very pragmatic person. I just know how to adapt to situations, and I know how to tweak things. So the fact that something, a product or a project has failed does not mean the vision has failed. It doesn't mean the dream has failed. What it only means is that the strategy failed, not even the I don't even see it as, okay, this project has failed or this product has failed. I see it as though the reason this product failed is because of the strategy that we use. I also feel that, okay, in the midst of failure, I begin to think that, okay, if we had done this differently, would we have said that this product failed? If we had done this differently, would we also say that the project has failed? So sometimes in the midst of failure, I don't see it as though, okay, the project failed, the product failed, or the vision failed, or the dream failed. I see it as though, okay, the strategy has failed, the plan has failed. We can do something else. We can look at another plan. We can look at another strategy to still achieve the same thing. So that's why I said, I'm in the midst of failure, I'm a very pragmatic person. I can just diversify, look at things and say, okay, if we are supposed to get to point C, and then we are supposed to follow the route of B to get to C, and then it's proving as though following the B route to get to C is a problem, and we need to go all the way down to Z to come to C. Then let's go there if it works.
Cool. Tell us about Velox. First off, how did you get the name Velox? What does it mean?
Okay. Velox is actually a Greek word that means speed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it means speed. Yeah, basically, it's coming from the Greek word comes. So the physics term velocity that deals with speed, was gotten from the Greek term velox. So velox, velocity, actually. So velox means speed, so that's basically the meaning of velox. So for me, when I was coming up with the name, I just needed a name that would actually speak for something, So I said, okay, I think velocities, because I want to grow faster. Yeah, and in relation to our clients, our partners, and our stakeholders too, they should also see it as though they are associating with a brand that is on upward movement. We are going faster, we are going somewhere, and we want to go faster. So basically, Velox is that brand where you say, okay, if you want to go faster in real estate investment, go with Velox, because we have speed.
Oh, nice. So tell me about Velox. What do you do?
Velox is a real estate development company, and currently, we do a lot of site and service development. Master plan project currently that is fast selling is our retreats, residences and resorts, which is actually the first ever residential and commercial resort development in Rivers State. It's located in Ivruta, and we're also doing a lot of other landmark projects, like our service apartment that is currently under construction in Rumi Bekwe.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we're also coming up with the first private commercial and industrial district in Rivers State. Ever since the Transamadi evolution that bettered the Transamadi industrial layout axis, currently Port Harcourt is fast growing, and Port Harcourt is in need of a new industrial and commercial ecosystem where businesses would thrive and collaboration would also improve the economy. So that's why we came up with the Marquis. The Marquis is basically a commercial and industrial hub that we are developing in Port Harcourt, somewhere in Irebe, Oyibo axis. So basically, and then for us at Velox, one of the things that engineers the projects and products that we churn at, it's not just because we want to launch products, because everybody's launching products. We sit down, look at the key needs of the economy, look at, okay, where can we come in to make impact in the economy, not just because we want to launch a product. Like for instance, why did we launch the retreat residences and resort? We launched retreat residences and resort because we've studied the Port Harcourt landscape. For instance, if we want to tell ourselves the truth, if you want to have real fun in Port Harcourt, as it were, the place you just want to go to is Pleasure Park. If you want to have that real fun where you can have some union with nature and enjoy a good ambience without too many loud music, where Port Harcourt is, once you take out Pleasure Park and maybe the new Oak Park, the next place you're going to either a club or a lounge. That's the next place you're going to. We actually do not have cool places where people can hang out, spend weekend getaways and just have cool fun. So you see people, they even want to have a weekend getaway. If you're not going to one hotel with brick and mortar here and there, you're going to Lagos. You're going to Lagos, or you go to Abuja where you can have access to a resort, right? So that's basically why we decided to do the retreat residences and resorts, because we want to develop an alternative. We want to give people a place that is home away from home. So aside giving people this alternative, rather than going to Lagos or flying to Abuja to have a weekend getaway with your spouse, with your loved ones, or even to have a company retreat and all of that. So it's also a way to generate an income stream for our clients. So you do not just own a property in an estate because you want to own a property in an estate. So having a property in a resort automatically plugs you into another section of the economy, the hospitality aspect of the economy, because people would always come to want to book your apartment, right? So even if we are building holiday chalets in the resort, there would also be times where we won't have enough rooms to service our clients, and people who have things like service apartments, shortlets within the estate would also benefit from it as well. So that's basically what drives us at Velox. So that's why we pride ourselves as a cash flow real estate brand, because we do not just launch products. We also focus on launching products that would create cash flow for our clients, which translates to get them making money when they buy properties from Velox. So you buy into retreat residences and resorts, you know that you're basically plugging into another aspect of the economy. You're not just owning the property. You buy into like the Marquis, as it were, you know that you're also plugging into another section of the economy. So even if you're not a business person who want to maybe build his business headquarters in the Marquis, or you don't want to build a factory in the Marquis, you can own plots in the Marquis, build office complexes there, and people are paying. Exactly. You can even come there, build a tech hub, an ecosystem there, and gather all the tech minds together, and they are building great products, great services, and softwares within that premises as well, and you're making money from there. You can come there, build a different kind of market that will service a large part of the economy, and you're making money from there. So basically, that's what we do at Velos. We basically study the economy, know products that can be tailored to suit a particular segment of the economy as well. Take, for instance, we are the first people to launch a farm estate in River State. That's our Botakot Farm City product. You know, the idea for Farm City is that, okay, over the years, we discovered that, okay, people have been selling land in different locations, like some locations that are located in the outskirts of town, you know, and then the whole idea is land banking. Land banking is a fantastic concept. You buy the land, you keep it for years, and then Velos came up with the idea that, oh, why tell people to buy land and keep it for years when they can even buy, and there's a food problem in the country. And then we're like, people can actually buy this land and farm with it. So let us build an estate that will be an ecosystem that would encourage people to not just own this land, but encourage them to farm, because your neighbor has a farm, you should have a farm. Your other neighbor owns a poultry farm, you can own a fish farm, you know, and that way you no longer end up just owning a property that you are waiting for the next 10 years to resell and make money. You now own a property that is generating money for you. And then we also came up with a concept to say, it's okay to own the land and say you don't want to farm. You can also lease the same land to farmers who are willing to farm. You can also you can even set up a system for poultry farming, and you say, you know what, I'm not farming, I've set up the farm already, I'm not interested in being any poultry, but there is a farm already. Someone can come and do the farming himself and we can share profit as well. You know, these are the things that we've put in place at Botakot Farm. So that's why I said we pride ourselves as a cash flow real estate brand.
I like how you are looking at real estate, because I mean, a lot of people looking at real estate, you hear real estate, the first thing that comes to mind is buy land, buy house or rent house. Is 5 kilometers away from the airport, is 2 minutes drive away from Woodrow University, you know, and all of that. So one is not tempted to think that real estate is just about lands and houses. But now you're mentioning farming as well, you're mentioning the resorts as well, and a whole lot of things. Like real estate is diverse, right? I just started discovering that.
You know, the thing is, what most people do not understand about real estate is that real estate, in the real sense of it, is beyond brick and mortar. What gives value to real estate is use case.
Exactly.
Not necessarily the property in question. It is what can it be used for. That's what gives value to the property. So for us at Velos, we are all about the value that a property can generate. That's basically what we're all about. We are not all about the property in itself. We are all about the value that the property can generate. So if you look at our mission and our vision statement, you will discover that we are about fusing other sectors of the economy into real estate. For example, agriculture, which is why we are doing Farm City. And now that we are launching our corporate headquarters in Abuja, we would also replicate same. For example, we are building a service apartment at Rumi Bekwem. We would have said, okay, we are building an apartment that people can just buy and live, or don't pay rent again, become a landlord. No, we are telling you, this property that you're buying, you're not buying it because you just want to become a landlord. You're buying this property because this property will be generating money for you on a daily basis. Exactly. So now we are saying you buy a property for a service apartment. That's plugging into the hospitality industry through real estate. Same thing. We are building the retreat residences and resorts. And that's also another way to plug into the tourism and hospitality sector through real estate. So for us, we are about marrying sectors together, right? So you bring agriculture, you bring real estate, you fuse it together, and you are earning from both aspects of the economy. So we are not all about buy land, keep it, and enjoy capital appreciation later. And we are all about, you can own this property, generate cash flow from it today, why it is still appreciating. Buying the land because it wants to appreciate is fantastic. But we are also saying that there is more to it. You can make money from this property. And owning hospital is real estate.
Exactly. Event halls
is real estate.
Mortuary
is real estate. Markets is real estate. Currently now, real estate developers in Lagos and in Abuja, they have gone beyond just building houses. They are now building shops. Yeah, they are building markets. They are building malls. And they sell spaces in these malls. So now they are not pitching to people to say, you can own a piece of a market. So imagine a market that buys every day. And somebody is paying you 5K per day for his shop. Do you understand? Imagine a market that buys every day. Someone pays you 10,000 per day for his shop. You're making a lot of money. Imagine you own 10 units of it. That's a lot of money. So people need to start seeing real estate beyond the brick and mortar approach, beyond the land and building approach. So they need to start seeing real estate for the use case. What can it be used for? And for us, Alvera, that's what we are basically all about.
Yeah, nice. Tell me about your first experience with hiring staff.
For me, I think I had my first staff was I think it was even based on recommendation. It was based on recommendation. Okay, this is my sister, she just finished school. I want you to help her out, blah 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 blah, and all of that. When Velo started, it was quite funny. When Velo started, it was just myself and my wife. Then she was my girlfriend, just the both of us. Then she was like the front desk person. I was like the sales manager. I was a driver. I was everything, So, but then after a while, we now got a front desk person. So that front desk person was basically based on recommendation. Okay, this is my sister. I learned that you people just put out an advert for a front desk person. I have this my sister that can fit in for that role, and I just okay, let her resume. Basically. So that was just my boy. Aside that, I've had good experience and bad experience when it comes to hiring staff. I've had good experience, I've had bad experience. I've hired fantastic people. I've also hired very, very terrible. So at some point we had to now outsource hiring to HR agencies to just do the recruitment for us.
That now saves you all the stress.
Exactly. Because sometimes if you would just tell once you just put that an advert and people will submit their CVs, and when you look at some person's CV, it's all looking good. But then when the person shows up for the interview and you're like, this person get the CV. Exactly.
Yeah, because people lie on their CVs a lot.
Exactly. So basically, I've had good and bad experiences. But my first staff was basically based on recommendation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We're gradually coming to the end of the show. I want to know, how do you, apart from real estate now, how do you invest your money?
Okay. For me, I focus more on real estate investments all the time. All the time, every time. The reason is because I feel real estate is secure. Real estate is safe. And real estate is tangible. So for me, that's why I focus on real estate. So I can diversify my real estate portfolio. I can do commercial real estate here, residential real estate here, and all of that, and do a bit of land banking here and there, basically. So that's how I do my investment. I center my investment around real estate. I ensure that everything I do is centered around real estate. Then I also try to invest in businesses. I like ownership. So I see a good business. Okay, I can give you XYZ sum. I own XYZ percentage in this business, right? So basically, that's how I invest my money, and that's it. But I focus on real estate because I know that real estate is always sure. And right now, because the world is evolving, and then real estate now has lots of options. There are lots of ways you can make money from real estate. So that's why the real estate sector is basically expanding into literally other sectors. So people now do, there is what we call agro hospitality. Where you fuse farming, you fuse tourism and hospitality with real estate all together. So you go to places like Almat Farms in Abuja. Now what they do is agro hospitality. They have a farm, it's a farm, but you can lodge there. They have apartments there that you can lodge in. Then they have fun activities to do. There's recreation there as well. So real estate is basically expanding into sectors like that. So real estate is now moving beyond what it is. It has already moved beyond what it is currently. So people now look at this aspect. Okay, how can we bring this together, bring that together, and then do a holistic development? So that way there are more things to do with money when it comes to real estate. So there are more projects to do. So that's why I focus on doing real estate. But the other way I invest my money is basically to invest in businesses. Because I also know that when you invest in growing businesses, is also an opportunity for you to grow your wealth. Because as that business is growing, your wealth is growing, basically. Yeah.
True. So you mentioned at the start that you used to like book a lot. How is that now? Do you still read a lot now?
Yeah, not a lot as I used to then, because a lot has changed about my life.
Yeah, responsibility.
Yeah, too many responsibilities, but yeah, I still do some reading from time to time, and I'm still a student, so I still have to read.
Right. Oh, these are the best 3 books you have read in your life.
Number 1 book that I've read is the Holy Bible. Yeah. Yeah. The next one that I've read is Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone.
Oh, Sell or Be Sold.
Yeah, Sell or Be Sold book. Yeah, Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. Then the next book that I've read that made a lot of impact in my life is this book, Said It Like Sahant by Ryan Sahant, the popular real estate broker in Manhattan. Yeah, basically, I think those are, because I have read a lot of other very interesting mails, but it's just that in the last couple of years, most of I've focused more on selling. So I've read a lot of books on sales, and then one of the books that also made a great impact in my life is the book by O.G. Mandino. Yeah, The Greatest Salesman on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
O.G. Mandino. Yeah, that book was a fantastic book, good storytelling. So I read more of a sales book, and then I do also a little bit of philosophy books as well, because I love philosophy.
You do consider yourself a book? I consider myself a book collector, and what I miss, if I go out and I see books, I'm buying. It doesn't matter whether
it's physical. That's why some books that but it's just because I got into a space and I saw some books, I would just buy this. Sometimes I just buy some books and I would bring them home, and my wife would be like, these ones that you bought, when are you going to read them? Do you even have the time to read them? But the good thing about it is that, sometimes it is just good to collect those books, because you might I've actually been in some stages of my life where I would just go into my home office, check my library, and then I would just pick a particular that speaks to me at that moment. And once I just open it, it's answering my questions. So that's why I don't see it as a problem collecting books, because a time will come when you would actually need them.
I agree with you. They say readers are leaders, not
true. Yeah. But for me, I know they say readers are leaders, but I actually don't believe that 100%.
Tell me about it.
No, I don't believe that 100%. For me, I believe solely that doers are leaders.
Yes, that's another slant. Yeah.
Doers are leaders. Yeah. We have too many readers, we have too many writers in this country. Yeah. But we have little or no doers. And it's because we have little or no doers. That's the reason why we would always have the worst of us leading us all the time. Yeah, because people are not willing to put in the work. They just want to keep writing strategies on social media, strategies upon strategy. There are people who will tell you that they know how to make the country work. They know how to make Nigeria work. Exactly. That they know how to revamp our agro sector, they know how to revamp our oil and gas sector, they know how to do this, they know how to do that. Throw your hat in the ring and play. So I tell people who come up with this mantra of I have the strategy, I can turn this around, I can do this around. Okay, pick up your jersey and play your wing.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Yeah. For me, if you're not in the ring, getting punches and getting all bleeded up, I don't see you as somebody who can lead. If you want to lead, you show walking. Exactly. So people just stay online, stay behind their keyboard, and they're just typing strategy, typing this. You know, there are people even consume more content than they even act. True. People read more books than they even act.
They are more.
See,
sure.
There are people who, by the end of every year, they will tell you, this year I read 200 books. And then you begin to ask them, these 200 books that you read, what are the actual points? What are the actual signs that you've actually worked on? What have you done? Based on these books that you've read, what have you done? So that's why I say it's not just about reading, it's about doing.
Yeah.
You know, the person who even doesn't read much and is always interested in doing the little that they can just get, they are implementing. Yeah. They would always have more results.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it.
I used to read a lot of books. You know, at some point, I stopped. I say, you know what? I'm not reading, even I'm going to be buying books, I'm not reading any new book right now.
Yeah.
I'm in implementation mode.
That's it.
So what I'm going to be doing is I'll start implementing. If I need to go back to any material, this is for the sole reason of I want to implement what is inside.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you just have mental paralysis.
That's it.
Because you're just reading information.
It's a major problem that we have. You know, people just consume too many informations more than they act. You know, but what stands you out in life is the steps you take, the things you do, the actions you take. Basically, that's what stands you out. So people won't even know you for the books you read.
Sure.
You know, but people would always remember you and know you for the things that you are doing and the things that you have done. So that's why readers won't always be leaders. You know, even if readers will be more enlightened to make fantastic leaders.
Yes.
But then it is only the ones that can act and that will show you that, yes, I can actually be a fantastic leader.
So I guess that quote came out from the place of assumption.
Exactly.
That those who are reading will actually do something what they have read.
Exactly. And how are we even sure that those who are reading or those who have read have a clear understanding of what they have read to act, so that when it gets to the time for them to act, they can actually act it right.
Yeah.
You know, when we were in school, there are people who will tell you, oh, I've covered this textbook page to page. I've covered this course material page to page. I can do this, I can do that, I can solve this equation, I can do all of that, right? But then when you now get to the exam hall and the question starts popping, they start sweating. Do you understand? So in that case, we can never say readers are leaders. You understand? You know, so it is. So when people can actually know that, okay, you are actually a fantastic leader, or if you have, it's the results that you pull up. You know, I used to tell people that what would always stand you out, what would always make people respect you for whatever you say you are, is in the results that you churn out. If there must be a time where results would collide with your efforts, right? If it never happens, then you've not done anything. There must be a time where results would collide with efforts. You know, if you keep hitting this wall with iron every day that you come, you're hitting it with iron every day, there will come a day where you burst the wall open, or you entirely bring down this whole section of the wall, right? So that's why I say there would always be that if you're putting in that effort, you're doing the work that you're supposed to do. If you actually know what you're doing and you are committed to it, there would always be a time that the results will collide with your effort.
Beautiful. This session has been all shades of amazing. We've run out of time.
Yeah.
We'll have to bring it to a close here. One last question, and then I'll let you go. So to the entrepreneur that is struggling, you know, trying to start a business, trying to stay afloat and all that, what is one counsel you can give that person?
The one counsel I would give to an entrepreneur that is struggling and trying to stay afloat is, I don't want to go on rhetorics, just basically, number one, you should know how to sell. That's it. The thing is, not just knowing how to sell to make money, you should know how to communicate your vision. In communicating your vision, you're actually selling that vision to your clients, to your customers, right? So you find out that when companies are having challenges, yes, that the challenges can be so strong that, but then when the CEO comes out to give a public speech, or maybe there is a communication written to these clients, and the CEO has that capacity to sell the vision of that company very well, you can quench a lot of problems.
True.
So that's why the critical thing that every struggling entrepreneur should learn is how to sell. Not just how to sell to bring in clients to make money. That's fantastic. Learn to also how to sell your vision, and learn how to sell your personality as well. So basically, learning how to sell is one key thing that every business person should know. Learn how to sell yourself. So when you meet people, you tell people who you are, and they should feel this pulse. When you talk about what you do, you talk about who you are, people should feel this pulse, right? So learning how to sell is fantastic. And then if you are a business person, an entrepreneur in Africa, in Nigeria as well, you need to have mental toughness. Exactly. You need to have mental toughness. You know, we operate in a climate where people just think that you shouldn't have a problem, especially as an entrepreneur. That, you know, we are now in that space and in that age where the moment you have a business problem, people automatically they say, "Na scam, utokam." Do you understand? So as an entrepreneur, you should have that mental toughness. You should know that periods of challenges will come. You know, entrepreneurship is not all beds of roses. It's not all bread and butter. No, entrepreneurship is not that. Entrepreneurship has thorns and roses. You know, so when you encounter the thorns, you don't back out. You need to go through that pain. So that's why you need to have that mental toughness, so you don't chicken out of every challenge. You understand? So you just need to have that mental toughness. There will be backlashes on social media. People will come and call you all manner of names and all of that. It is who stays true to the cause and stays true to the end that wins.
True.
That's it.
True. This session has been very exciting. Then thank you very much for showing up for us. We hope to have you again one of these days when you're freer, hopefully when you're done with the Abuja projects.
Okay, no problems.
All right, thank you very much. Tell them to subscribe to the channel.
Okay, please hit the subscribe button and then click the notification button for small updates.
Guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for sticking to the end. Take care. Cheers.